Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
It's a great day. I'm Mark Imperial. This is a special edition of the program specifically for the Plainfield Area Chamber of Commerce. On this episode, we're spotlighting noteworthy chamber members. And on this segment, my guest is Kathy Wright from Paint Right Painting out of Naperville, Illinois. Kathy, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for asking me.
Kathy, tell us about Paint Right Painting and the type of folks that you help.
Sure. We are a family-owned and operated company, a second-generation business that my husband, John Wright, started 36 years ago. I can't believe we're going on 37 now at the turn of the year. And
wow.
We again, are family-owned and operated, where the original family members, craftsmen, are still doing the work. Between my husband, his brother, Dan's been with the company for 33 years, my son, Chris, second generation to the business, and we provide interior and exterior painting to both residential and commercial clients in the area.
Oh, terrific. So tell us, what are two or three most popular questions or most frequently asked questions when people come to see you?
Okay. Actually, one of the first top ones is always scheduling, and we think we're pretty good at meeting scheduling needs. If we, for some reason, felt we could not meet the scheduling need, we would definitely let the client know ahead of time. For exterior work, where what we're helping do is protect the investment for the client, a lot of questions have to do with the prep work, which we spell everything out that we will do, starting with the power washing, all the scraping, sanding, caulking, important prep steps to get the house in the best condition before it is actually painted or stained. On the interior end, people are more, fixing up to update the color scheme of their home to make their home more warm and inviting. And materials is something that is asked a lot on the interior, and we use the top-of-the-line products, the Benjamin Moore products on the interior. We use the Sherwin-Williams on the exterior, but we use Benjamin Moore on the interior. So that's an important question that people like to ask. And they like to ask the years of experience with the people doing the actual work, and that's something, again, we're very proud of, because my husband, 36 years, he has been painting homes and businesses, so we've got a lot of experience under our belt.
I'd imagine, like many industries, there's misinformation out there, or lack of information. Are there questions that you wish your clients would ask you that they don't know to ask, that you'd like to talk about?
Okay. Well, some good questions to ask when you're working with a painting contractor have to do with the reputation of the company. And when a company is a member of a Chamber of Commerce, such as us with the Plainfield Chamber, and we're also a Naperville Chamber of members for 15 years now, asking some background questions about the company, their Better Business rating. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business review, Better Business reviews, and we have an excellent Angie's List review. So asking a lot of good questions about the background of the company, and asking questions about testimonials, and getting testimonials and references from a company are good things that people should be asking.
Do you think there's any misinformation out there or misconceptions when it comes to painting, interior or exterior?
Misconceptions.
Anything you find your clients have a wrong expectation, or something that they're maybe misinformed about painting.
Well, the only kind of misinformation, which is important, is how long the project is going to take, because some customers on interior and exterior think you're just going to, get in there and get out right away, which unfortunately some other companies will do because they're not doing all the prep steps. And it's not how fast the job is done, it's how well the job is done, and all the, again, preparation steps are taken care of. So that's kind of the main misinformation that I see that's out there, not realizing how long a project might take because all the proper steps have to be done.
So you've been celebrating a lot of years in the business, Kathy. You told us a little bit about that, but tell us, how did you get started? What inspired you to even start Paint Right Painting?
Well, again, my husband started the company 36 years ago. He was always the kind of person that wanted to run his own business and, be in charge, where I actually just joined the company 15 years ago. I came from a corporate background and always felt that was kind of where I was going to be in my career, but came to a realization 15 years ago that after my husband's prompting for like 3 years, he kept saying, Kathy, come join the family business, be in charge of your own sales and marketing and business background. So I thought I would give it a 2-year trial is what I said. And I also found, just some benefits that I really didn't realize how important they were, where when you're self-employed and you have a lot more of time for your family that you can do. And volunteer work. I do a lot of volunteer work too. So being self-employed and having such a flexible schedule has allowed me to spend more time, with my family and my volunteer work too.
Oh, terrific. For our listeners out there that would be interested in connecting with you and learning more, how do they get a hold of you and how could you help them?
Well, first easiest is the phone number. The phone number is 630-961-9249. I didn't get to mention some exciting news as we just started a Washington division where my son, 10 years with the company, has headed out to that Seattle area. So we have a Washington phone number now. I'll just, give that is 206 418-6667. Easiest thing, though, is the website, www.paintrightpainting.com, which is www.paintrightpainting.com. You can, connect with us right through our website, and we'd be happy to connect with people on their needs for commercial or residential painting.
Fantastic. I appreciate your time, Kathy, and sharing on the program, and congratulations on all the years of success. You're obviously doing a lot of good things right. So I wish you continued success for you, Paint Right Painting, and for all of your clients.
Thank you very much. I, again, appreciate that I was asked to be on the show.
And this is a special edition of the program specifically for the Plainfield Area Chamber of Commerce, and that's Plainfield, Illinois. On this episode, we're spotlighting noteworthy chamber members. So on this particular segment, my guest is Kristen Robertson from Allstate, serving the state of Illinois, based out of Plainfield. Kristen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So Kristen, tell us about, I'm sure people know the name Allstate, but just give me a snapshot of what you particularly do and the types of clients that you help.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a hometown Allstate agent is the way I like to look at it. I am located in Plainfield, Illinois. I do serve the entire state of Illinois, but I grew up in the next town over and attended college in northern Illinois, so I've really only ever lived within 10 miles of where I'm located right now. Mm-hmm. So I always laugh that as I run to Target and I'm running into somebody I grew up with or somebody I used to teach, and it's easy for me to talk to them about insurance products. And I do have all products here at the office. I have auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, business insurance. So it does apply to anyone I can run into.
So that's a great way to become known. Be here, be present like your entire life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about your clients. So is there, maybe give us a little snapshot of the state of the insurance nation, if you will. Are there challenges out there? What's happening in the world, and why should they come to see you for help? What can you help them with?
Well, I think they should come to see me because there's somebody that they can come into the office to see me, so they're not calling an 800 number. if they have questions, it's easy for them to stop in. And I'm a go-to girl. They're in good hands with me, just like they say with Allstate. Mm-hmm. But I do have a passion for helping others, and that's why I like Allstate Insurance. Allstate encourages us agents to get out there and be out in the community. I'm a member of the Plainfield Junior Women's Club. I co-chair the juniorettes. So a lot of my clients see me out in the community, and they see that I'm out helping others, so they know that I'm not just helping them at home and protecting what's important to them, but I'm out helping other members of the community as well.
What's been your most popular product or program there at Allstate?
I think most of our clients see the need for a combination of home insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, as well as financial products so that they're planning for their future.
Tell us about that, like the combination of products you were talking about. Can you expand upon that a little bit more? Because perhaps listeners have the same need.
Sure. Well, absolutely. You tend to save more money if you have all of your products here with us, but most of us have a need for some sort of transportation, whether it's an automobile or a motorcycle, and then we can rate your homeowner's insurance as well, or your renter's insurance, or your condo insurance. Some of us have landlord policies as well. And then if we have a lot of those products, then we might want to have some coverage above it all with an umbrella policy. And then, of course, we want to cover all of that with life insurance, perhaps some mortgage protection, so that if, God forbid, something happens to one member of the family, our home is covered.
Yeah, that's an interesting product, actually, because I think a lot of people overlook that.
Sure, absolutely. Mortgage protection is very important. There might be perhaps both parents are working in the home, perhaps only one is working, but let's say the mom stays home with the kids and the dad is out working, and perhaps, God forbid, we lose the mother in the house. We should have the mother protected with life insurance as well, because the dad has to think that if we've lost that mother, the dad might have to start staying home with the kids, and so he needs to have a life insurance policy in place so that there's financial security.
Is that something that you would insure them individually, or is there a family policy?
There are different options depending on the family. We can talk.
Mm-hmm. I'd imagine that the rates for that are kind of all over the place. But is there a rule of thumb or a nutshell, kind of an example you can give for a certain value home or something?
Well, no, we'd really want to sit down and look at what was appropriate for each individual family. Mm-hmm. There are so many different products out there. There are whole life policies. There are policies for the children. There's a juvenile policy for children that's available, so that we can start protecting the children, and they can add on to that policy as they get older.
Right on. So, hey, Kristen, what drew you to helping people with insurance? How'd you get started?
Well, I actually, when I was in college, I went to school to be a teacher, and and through that love of teaching, actually, I still use those skills here in my insurance agency. It's pretty interesting. I find that people walk in my door and they tell me they want full coverage on an automobile, but they don't understand what that means. Mm-hmm. So I can still use my love of teaching to explain what coverages are, and I'm still working with families, and I absolutely love it. And I love that Allstate encourages me, like I said, to get out in the community and help others. I'm able to give out grants if I help out with different organizations. Allstate offers grants to the agents to hand out to organizations in the community, and I've done that to the Plainfield Junior Women's Club and to a shelter in Chicago that I helped out.
Oh, I think this is great. You have a great opportunity to use your teaching skills to inform the public, because I believe you've got a lot of great information. I think there's a lot of lack of information out there. As you mentioned, people don't understand what policies are about and what they all involve. So I could see some workshops in your future. So, Kristen, how do our listeners, if they're nearby, how do they get a hold of you if they want to connect with you?
Sure, there's so many ways they can connect with me. I'm all over social media. I have Facebook pages, Twitter pages, Instagram even. But really, I'd love for them to stop by or call or email. My name is Kristen Robertson. I can be reached on the phone at 815-345-4495. Or my email address is kristenrobertson@allstate.com. Or please stop by anytime at Allstate Insurance at 16108 South Route 59, Suite 118, Plainfield, Illinois, 60586.
Kristen, thank you so much. This has been terrific, and thanks for sharing with my listeners today. I wish you continued success for you, Allstate, and for all your clients.
Thank you so much, Mark.
And on this segment, my guest is Robert Bennett from Trader Values. Robert, welcome to the program.
Thanks.
So, Robert, tell the listeners about Trader Values. What is Trader Values, and who are the people that you serve?
Well, we are a direct mailing marketing magazine. We cover 8 zones in the Chicagoland area. My zone or region is the Plainfield. Our magazine is direct mailed to, or my zone alone, it's direct mailed to 32,000 homes. We come out with 8 publications a year, so it's about every 6 weeks we have a new issue mailed. We cater to the local businesses, try to help them get their name out there and get exposed to the public.
Oh, terrific. Are you part of is this a national publication, and you're handling the Plainfield area?
No, we are not national. Our headquarters, our main office is in New Lenox, Illinois. That's where it started. We branched out. We just have 8 zones, like I said. Our zones are Plainfield, Joliet, Shorewood, Crest Hill, Lincoln Way, Orland, Lockport, Homer Glen, Tinley, Payless area, and the Oak Forest area.
Oh, that's terrific. It's great to hear that this is a locally focused and locally owned publication.
Yep.
So tell us, Robert, for some folks that have, are most of your clients that you meet, are they experienced in advertising, or do you find that there's a lot of education needed in how to advertise properly and effectively?
It's all over the board. I have clients that they completely design their own ad. They know exactly where they want, which issues they want to run in, which zones. And then I have clients who are kind of starting their own business, so to speak, completely in the dark and ask for advice. We design all the ads for our clientele that need it done free of charge. And whether that's putting something together off of pictures or off their website, and then we kind of guide the client in what would be most effective.
I love the subject of marketing and promotions and advertising. So let's dig in a little bit. What would you tell our listeners? Let's talk about successful advertisers, people that are successfully growing their business profitably. What do you feel are the keys to their advertising to make them successful?
Well, not to coin the term or quote the term bang for their buck, but they need to go after their specific clientele, and they need a vast array of different forms of advertising for different generations, depending what they're doing. I am full color print, direct mail, like I said before. So my publication, sits in the house on a table to where it can be picked up, and that there's other. The younger generation I know does social media a lot with the smartphone. And so I think the successful marketing people, they kind of have a little bit in every bucket, so to speak, to where they can target what would be their direct clientele base.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned, people using a lot of digital devices today. I noticed a flyer within your publication. You have a new app or something mobile that's happening. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, we have website, and then we are launching a brand new app after the first of the year. And what's nice about it, where it's a little special, is when, depending what town you're in, when you hit our app or whatever, it will pull, say you're looking for dining, it will pull those that are in your area. So it's, what would you call it, geographic specific. So where if you're looking for pizza and say you're in Joliet, it's not going to pull a pizza place that's, say, in Tinley Park. It's going to keep you where things are closest. Now, and so forth. Unfortunately, I'm not the most tech savvy. I'm still a little old school, but I'm learning.
Oh, right on. So what would you say are 2 or 3 of the most common questions that you get from a potential advertiser when they come to talk to you?
Well, one of the biggest is what will be my return on my investment? And the only thing I can tell them is that we have about an 80 to 85% renewal rate with our current clientele. Obviously, price is always a big question, and they're, excuse me, I don't just sell price. What we do is put together a campaign and show them how many homes they'll receive for the cost, and then we can break it down per home. And then a lot of people ask, why go to print? It's old school, whereas I'm on Facebook. Well, like I said before, when you're still in print, it tends to stay around the house or the business longer than something on electronic media, so to speak.
Yeah, until we all start walking around with those goofy goggles on like you're seeing on TV now. We're all living in the real world, right?
Right.
It's going to be like those 3D TVs that like came and went a couple of years ago, because people just are not going to walk around with those things on their head. So the reality is people are going to pick up a piece of print media, and they're going to read it and use it as much, if not more, than digital, not to mention the pass-along factor.
Right. And then with my generation, so to speak, I still enjoy reading the Sunday paper. I know it's online and that, but I still enjoy sitting down. There's something, I guess, to be said for tradition, I guess.
Oh, yeah, there's a study, actually. I'm going to have to dig this up. You're reminding me of the study that I read about the number of neurons in the brain that an actual physical piece of print hits. You should use this, by the way, that a piece of physical print hits versus the digital neurons, and like they have all brain scans and everything about how it actually affects the reader and the listener. So it's a great argument for hard copy media. So let's educate a little bit. You mentioned people were asking a little bit about number of households hit. Can you give us a little bit of more about that? Tell us about the distribution numbers and what that looks like.
Well, our total, if you take all 8 zones that we have a publication at, it hits 237,000 households. Like I said, my zone alone hits 32,000 homes. We hit all the zip codes. Mm-hmm. So if you break it down per house, say it comes out to where a merchant would be spending pennies per household to get their business in front of that family. And then if you break it down even further, how many family of 4, mom and dad are gonna both look at it. So you can break it down even farther by how many actual individuals are going to see it.
I gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. So Robert, how did you get started? What inspired you to get into advertising media?
Actually, I've been in some form of sales pretty much since I came out of college. I did work for a bank for a while.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say came out of the womb.
And but I did work I was in banking for a period of time, and quite honestly, I just I can't sit still. I wanted to be in sales, out and about, not shackled to a cubicle or a branch. And an acquaintance friend of mine knew that I was looking to make a change. He talked to me about it, and we put it together relatively fast. I can't ask for a better company to work for, or a better position to fit. It's just a good fit.
Terrific. So, Robert, to wrap this up, what would you tell a potential advertiser or a business owner? What's the one thing they should really focus on if they want to be successful with advertising? What would you tell them they should consider?
Well, I would definitely consider, do a little research on who your clientele or who your main clientele will be. I tell people my job is to make the phone ring or people walk through the door. It's your job to sell them. So when you do put together something, make it jump off the page, so to speak. Come up with an idea that's going to drive business in, and then work with that prospect to develop repeat business or to get referrals from them. Once the phone rings, then that's your time where you can sell people and increase your sales.
That's great. Robert, how can our listeners, if they're near you, want to consider working with you there at Trader Values, how do they get a hold of you, or where do they find your information?
Well, they can go to our website at www.tradervalues.com, or they can always reach me by cell phone, 815-693-4468. I pretty much, my cell phone is the easiest way to get a hold of me. But you can also shoot me an email through the Trader Values website.
All right. It's been great talking to you, Robert. Thanks for taking the time and joining us and sharing on the program today. I wish you continued success for you, Trader Values, and all of your advertisers.
Thank you, and stay warm today.
Likewise, stay warm, sir.
Okay. Have a Merry Christmas.
On this segment, my guest is Starla Snead of designsbystarla.com. Starla, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Welcome.
Starla, tell us about Designs by Starla and the type of folks that you serve.
Okay. Well, Designs by Starla was created actually 14 years ago as my way to transition into my role as a stay-at-home mom. So it really just started as a hobby. I always wanted to learn calligraphy and took that as an opportunity to just fully get immersed in it and fell in love with it. And so my business started, I was doing wedding invitations, place cards, and commissioned pieces. And then it was probably about 6 years after that, I found a little hand engraver at a yard sale for 50 cents. Wow. I put it in my craft drawer. And then it was probably a year later, my mom calls and says, "Can you put your fancy writing in glass?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I have this engraver," and tried it. It was absolutely beautiful, and thus began Designs by Starla Calligraphy and Engraving.
Oh, wow, terrific. So you were able to make the transition and do this as a part-time or full-time endeavor as a stay-at-home mom. So how do your clients find you? Is this a word of mouth, or do you advertise this on a aggressive nature? Tell us about that.
Mostly it's through referrals and networking. And also I have a Facebook page, Designs by Starla Snead.
Oh, terrific. So yeah, tell us about when folks come to see you for your work, what are the 2 or 3 most common questions that they ask you?
Normally the first question they ask me is, can you engrave on, say, a clock, or my motto is you name it, I engrave it. So I get a lot of interesting things that people bring to me, which I get really excited when they ask me that question, can you engrave on this? So because I like experimenting and just taking my creativity to a whole new level.
What's your most popular service? I mean, you mentioned the wedding invitations, engraving. What do people really know you for? What are you known for, and what are the people most often come to you for?
Actually, it's a product line that I carry. It's called Passion Stones. And the website is passionstones.com. And it started as just, I was doing a craft show, and I saw these little glass stones, and I'm like, oh, I could engrave on those. So I put them in a little basket, and at that particular event, it was the only thing I sold. And it is now my number one selling product. So I sell them a lot they're just keepsakes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what they are.
Well, it started as glass stones. Now I carry a lot of natural stones by request of my customers, but they're just little stones that I put, words of encouragement on, mostly like hope, or if someone's going through a hard time, they might have a courage or something like that. But they're mostly just little keepsakes that people either put in their pocket, put in their wallet. I have one lady who I wrote the word gratitude on, and she carries it in her wallet. So every time she opens her wallet, she reminds herself to be grateful for the money she has. And then just recently I started taking the stones and turning them into jewelry. So I'm making pendants and bracelets out of them.
Oh, terrific. So you mentioned a little bit about how you got started in the business. Take us even further back. What inspired you to get into this type of art to begin with? How'd you get started?
My background is in chemistry. I was an environmental trainer. So I just used to always doodle, like, during phone conversations or meetings or whatever. I would just always be the one doodling,
Mm-hmm.
And just used to always draw my name. And that's kind of what led me into, learning the calligraphy.
Oh, right on. So
art has always been my therapy. So
Starla, for our listeners out there who'd like to connect with you and find out more about Designs by Starla and work with you on their, engravings or their invitations or passion stones, where should we send them to connect with you? How do they find you?
The best is Starla at designsbystarla.com. That's my email. I also have a Facebook business page, which is Designs by Starla Snead. And then my website is www.designsbystarla.com. And I also have passionstones.com.
All right, terrific. Well, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing with our listeners today, Starla, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you.
If you know a remarkable expert, business, person, place, or thing that we should feature on the show, drop me a line on my email, radioguest@markimperial.com. That's radioguest@markimperial.com. Until next time, I'm Mark Imperial. Take care and make it a remarkable week.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.